guys, and welcome to UFR, also known as an official front row racing. It's round 9, we're in Austria, and yeah, looking like it could be an eventful race. Short track, drivers on grid tonight. I've seen a few of their practice laps and it could be a little bit eventful as we go. So what I'm going to do now, because I've actually started with a bit of time to spare for once, guys, so right now, before I send the guys over to the track, I am going to go through last week's Thursday's events at round 8 France, and then standings, and then I'm going to go through Sundays also. So let's get on with the results from Thursday, and it goes a little bit like this. In first was Son. I believe he's won about 5 or 6 of the events throughout this season, so he's looking very, very strong as we go. In second was his teammate Hayes, so Toro also picking up a lovely one too there. Then in third and fourth was the McLaren boys, in the order of MLT and then Granty Boy. Fifth was Uzi, sixth was Ricky Sammy, 1 lap down, but then the DNFs go a little bit like this. RDB 7th, 8th, Luke Smywalker, M. Doranth was 9th, S. Graham was 10th, and we actually had our first DSQ of the season, and that was MK2 Escort Madman. So, but he did have some problems with his steering wheel. So that's the results of the France GP. And in turn, the table looks a little bit like this, guys. So leading the way is Son on 143 points. Second is Hayes on 116. Third is MLT, excuse me, on 81. Uzi is fourth on 66. Luke Smywalker is in 5th on 60, followed up by Kane Leander on 50 and 6th. Then 7th is Granty Boy on 36 points. S. Graham is 8th, excuse me, on 26. 9th is Cork on 18. Ricky Sammy is 10th on 13. RDB is 11th on 11. 12th is Reese on 8. Then it's 12th MK2 Escort Madman on 6. GT5 King is 14th on 4, and then the rest of the table is the last 3, Jamie James, GSB and Foos, they are all on 0. So that's the drivers table, and the constructors stands like this. Leading the way, and it's a dominant lead, is Toro Rosso on 259 points. Followed up in second is McLaren on 117. Then it gets a little bit tight, guys. So third is Ferrari on 66, fourth is Williams on 52. Then you've got Sauber in 5th on 40, Haas in 6th on 39. 7th is Red Bull on 29. 8th is Mercedes on 25, 9th is Renault on 24, bringing up the rear is Force India in 10th on 18. So that's our Thursday Premier Driver standings. What I'm going to do right now is just spectate up and get these guys over to the track and allow them to crack on with the qualifying while I give you guys the Sunday results. A little bit of information for you though. We're now coming into December as of this Saturday coming. Throughout next week, if the drivers can keep their eyes on the page, please, we will be giving you what's going on with racing, and we will have a shutdown period over Christmas, and it'll just give you guys an idea of dates and what's going to be happening. So keep your eyes on the main page there, guys. But moving on to Sunday, and this was quite an eventful race. We were very disappointed we couldn't live broadcast this one, because even some of the drivers were disappointed because it was absolutely cracking throughout. But the final results went a little bit like this. In first was John Haven Terry. Second was Coming to Get You 85. Third was M. Doran. Fourth was Hayes. Fifth was Sparky. Sixth was Zizmister. 7th was Strum. 8th was Luke Smywalker. 9th was Granny Boy. 10th was LWD Kingpin, LWD, and then in 11th was Ricky Sam. 12th was Uzi, first of the DNFs. 13th was Geza, DNF, and then we had Garfield with a DNF. We had an interesting incident there, but it's been resolved, and fair play for the drivers to, well, one of the drivers being open and honest with what happened. Sorry to stop there before I go on with the standards. It looks like we may have some rain in store today, or it might just brighten up, so it could be our first wet race of the season coming up. But yeah, moving on to the table, guys. This is the World Drivers' Championship of the Pro League, and it goes a little bit like this. Coming to Get You 85 is leading the way on 104 points. John Haven Terry is in second on 100. Then we've got third Zizmister on 93. Fourth is M. Doran on 91. Strum is in 5th on 83. Hayes is 6th on 64. Luke Smywalker is in 7th on 38. Granny Boy is 8th on 33. Max Ings is in 9th on 28, Sparky is 10th on 22, joint with me on 22 also. Uzi is 12th on 14, Ricky Sam is 13th on 12, then we've got Farf Byron 14th on 10, then we've got 15th Al WD Kingpin on 9, Garfield is 16th on 6, and he's joined a little bit late throughout this season, and I'm pretty sure he'd be disappointed with his start, but one to watch out for. Then 17th is Sahar Danny on 4 points, 18th is Geza on 1 point, and we have 2 open seats, which in fact one of those seats have actually gone now. So we've got a new driver joining us on Sunday. Also looking like we've got another driver joining us on Sunday, so it actually looks like we may get back to full grid racing on a Sunday, guys, so it's looking quite good for the future at the moment. But then we're going to move on to the constructors with the Pro League, and it goes a little bit like this. At the moment, Sauber in first, 184 points. Haas in second have clawed their way back and are on 178, 6 points behind. Then in third is Renault on 127 points. Fourth is Red Bull on 105. Fifth is Williams on 56. Sixth is Toro Rosso on 49. Seventh is Mercedes on 37. Eighth is Ferrari on 28. 9th is McLaren on 26th, and 10th, and bringing up the rear again, not having a successful season in either league, is Force India on 14 points. So that concludes all your standings of Sunday results as well, and Thursdays as well. So yeah, a little bit of information. We've got a couple of drivers that have actually messaged us today, to be fair, and basically have taken the spots of Sunday. So I believe Sunday is pretty much full now. But we just wait for confirmation with them, going through the information as long as they're happy, but they seem like they've got the go ahead. So if you are interested in joining us, we are Front Row Racing, we are on Facebook, and yeah, drop us a message. At the moment it is looking like there are only places open in the Thursday League, because as you can see we only have 12 drivers on track, one of which I know is a reserve in M. Doran. Sorry, 2, that is Wally's puppy as well. So yeah, if you're interested in coming along, giving it a go, drop us a message on Facebook. Find us on Unofficial Racing League. That's how you can find us. Sorry, that is wrong. I'll do that again. Unofficial Front Row Racing League. So yeah, that is where you can find us, and drop us a message and we will get you up and running in the Thursday League. Possible reserve spots available in the Sunday League, but you need to drop us a message and let us know your intentions, as we've just watched Hayes absolutely missed the first corner there, maybe getting out of the way, but who knows. So yeah, that's the information, that's the table, that's the standings. Now we're getting ready for round 9, Austria. Short track, only a few corners, a lot of straights, and a bit of a twisty bit in the middle, with 2 very, very tricky corners that you need to attack in the final sector. So yeah, without further ado, let's crack on, get on, and see who's doing what in the session as we go. So let's get some telemetry up for you guys, because that is what you like. What is going on? My telemetry has gone a bit funny. So no, there it is. So there we go. Let's get the telemetry up there, and that is enabled details of tyres that are fitted and the fastest lap, as Sun has just set the pace of a 104.7. I believe he's just bettered his time by about a tenth or 2 there. So Hayes taking a very interesting line there, but let's see who's flying. I believe we just saw a Mercedes. Yep, here he is starting his lap. I believe we just had a splash of rain as well, guys. That is why these guys are hitting the track. I could be wrong, but Ricky Sam is on a move. Let's see if he's looking to improve. No, he's 6 tenths down, so let's find somebody else. Who have we got? S. Graham. S. Graham is currently coming up to the end of sector 1. He's set a 16.4. He's half a tenth down, so we'll see how this lap pans out as we go. Second DRS, well, sorry, there are 3 DRS zones here, and S. Graham is not using it, so this could be an interesting call, maybe just getting his foot in the door. He is on ultra softs, and that's an interesting call. If I've just seen a splash of rain, could be wrong, but it did catch my eye, so we'll see what happens as this progresses. S. Graham, what's he doing in the middle sector? He's 1.4 down, so we shall move on. Sun has now gone even faster, and he seems to be improving bit by bit. M. Doran's come along and gone 3 tenths faster now with a 104.4. So let's see if we can actually find a driver that's setting a lap. Sparky, doesn't look to be lighting up any. No, he is well and truly backed off. What is Granty Boy doing in front? Coming up to the end of sector 2, he is half a tenth up, so let's see what he does. Is he going to continue his lap or go into the pits? But coming up to these two very important corners around Austria. First one, drop a gear, pin it, get back on it, don't lose the rear. Second one, come down 2, throw it in, pick it up again. Oh, look at that, you can see how important they are. They are desperate to get the traction down. Coming up to the line, and it's a 1:04.7, so he's put himself up into third there. Not a bad little time there by him. What's Jamie James doing? So let's have a look at one of our drivers. He's 3 tenths off the time he has set previously. Again, DRS not being used. I hope this is not a glitch, but we'll see what happens. It seems that drivers maybe just be looking to get their foot in the door, testing what the track's got on grip levels and going from there, because if there's one thing I can say about Austria, it is a very short track. You're looking at possibly drivers getting into the 103s. Depends if they really hook the lap up, but we're probably looking at a 104, mid to low 104 here this evening. So we'll see how it goes. You never know, one of the drivers can surprise us and pick up that 103, but we'll see. But moving on, we've just lost Uzi. Looks like he may have had a bit of a terminal damage moment there. He was on super sauce, but we'll see how that goes. May get a message off him, but who knows. I'll tell you what, we are going to pick up who's on an outlap. Let's go down to the man currently sat in 12th. It is Wallace Pup. A man in the Williams. He's reserving today, losing the rear end, but he sent me in his lap time today after I asked him a few questions about practice, and if he can hook up the lap time that he has shown me, he's going to be looking pretty damn solid. But a massive lock up there, maybe a bit of a commentator's curse. But coming to the third DRS sector of the track, the first straight, pit straight, second straight and this straight are all DRS zones, which, if you ask me, I think are a little bit too much. But anyway, Wallace Pup coming up to the middle sector. This left hand is a little bit tricky. You want to get the car tucked in as early as possible, but some drivers find to go in with a bit of understeer works for them. But Wallace Pup, I don't have a sector time from in the middle sector there, so we'll see what happens as his lap pans out. Maybe come into the pits, but maybe complete it. Here we go, throws it into the penultimate corner. Nice little line there. The rest of his lap hasn't been great, but these two final corners looking quite nice. Not going to be a super quick lap time, but he's coming to the line, and it's a 1:05.7 and finds himself in 6th place. And I'm telling you, Wallace Pup will be quite happy with that. So fair play. We'll see if we can pick him up a little bit later. But we've got Sun. Let's have a look at Sun. Championship leader currently. Where is M Doran on track actually? M Doran just coming out. So yeah, we got anyone else before we stick with Son? We got Hayes. We got Hayes' teammate, who's 8,800 down on his time there. But we'll see how this lap pans out. Again, the third DRS zone on the track, coming up to turn 4. You want to just hit the brakes sort of around the 90, 80 meter mark and get that car swooped in and floor it as soon as possible. This left hand is a bit tricky. You want to. The car feels a bit floaty. It feels understeer. You put the foot down too much, you get a lot of oversteer. So it's all a bit too much. But Hayes, I don't know if he keeps doing this every time I jump on board with him. He seems to back off. But what we shall do now is actually jump on board with his teammate and see how he is progressing. Looks like he is on a very slow lap. Yeah, he is. I don't know if these drivers are actually taking 1 or 2 laps to get these ultra softs in the zone, because it is a very short lap here. You never know. But anyway, we'll see what's M Doran doing. He's coming around to start his lap, so we haven't really seen too much of M Doran when he's raced. So we'll stick on board with him and see what he can do. Can he improve on his 1:04.4? So here we go. We're going to jump on board with this gentleman this time, and we're going to see how this goes. Turn 1, drop it to 4, throw it in, touch the curb, get on the power as early as you can. Don't touch that outside curb too much. 1, it will validate your time. 2, it can kick you off to the right hand side. So coming up to the end of sector 1, what's he done? It's a 16.0. There is no comparison to his lap time before, so we'll see how this goes. The third DRS zone, as I said, I believe it's too much. I believe 2 would be ample here. But coming up to turn 4 now, where's he going to brake? He's going about 70 metres, and that might be 70 metres a bit too late, but got it around the corner there. So we're coming around the little right-hander, throwing it into the left-hander. Again, you throw it in, you can see the understeer wanting to kick in, oversteer just about Again, we're not getting any comparisons to his time, so we are literally going to be going all the way to the line. But this is what you want to be seeing now, guys. The onboard shot, the last 2 turns. Drop it down, throw it in. There you go. Nice line by M. Doran there. Not using too much of the outside curb. Hogging as much as the curb as he can there. And I believe he may have just invalidated his time. And he has. He was up, but he used so much of that exit curb there. He was making his own track up as he went. Jamie James has just absolutely thrown himself up into second with a 1:04.6. So a nice little lap from himself there. Shame he missed it. So not looking too bad, but the championship leader's son is actually finding himself under a bit of pressure here. What's he got coming around the penultimate corner? I may have just ran a little bit too wide there. Coming up to the line now, DRS open. What has he got in the back blocker? He's done a 1:04.6, 1 minute 4.6 there, so he's just snatched it from Jamie James. But there's still plenty of time with it being Austria. Who else we got? Got Jamie James? No, he's on a slow down lap. What's Granny Boy? Granny Boy looks like he's giving it everything. So we'll stay on board with him, but we'll go back to broadcast camera now. Look at the rake on that McLaren. Someone's seriously using some serious ride height on the rear of that car there. The Williams driver there, Wallace Pup. Not a wise move there, holding the racing line. We'll see if Granny Boy is affected by that. Again, we're not getting any comparisons of the sector times, so I'm not too happy about this, but we'll see what Granny Boy can do coming around the penultimate corner now. What line is he going to take? Missing the curb completely. Oh, just using as much as the outside curb as he can, and the exit of the final corner. Coming up to the line, what we got? We got 1 minute 4.7, and he holds his 5th place. So who else we got out there? What's Sparky doing? Let's see what Sparky's doing in his Red Bull. Coming up to the middle sector, but again, guys, I'm not getting any comparisons in time, so this is just all about, no, Sparky, I have got a comparison, and he's definitely not on it. Let's have a look at a guy that's impressed me. It's Luke Smywalker coming around turn 1. I hope he's on a flying lap. DRS is open. Again, look at the rake these guys are using on that rear end. A lot of rake, but who knows, it could be driver preference or whatnot. But coming up to turn 3 there, nicely, gently on the power, DRS open as early as possible, and it's these first few corners is just about stop start, just as late as you can, as early as you can. But coming around this tricky little right-hander, if you miss the apex, you lose a lot of time, which I think Luke has done there, but we'll see his comparison coming in, excuse me, into the middle sector, around this left-hander, looking quite nice. Again, I believe he's missing the apex there. This could be costing him some time, and he is 300ths down. So it's all or nothing in these final 2 corners. His is going like hot knife through butter. It looks like he's just got enough. He's in the pits, so he looks like he's maybe going for a fresh set of boots. Who else we got out there? Granny Boy. What's Granny Boy doing again? He's up. Granny Boy is now up with all that rake. I haven't seen so much rake on one of these cars myself, but it looks like a Red Bull, but it is a McLaren. But we'll see what he's doing. Coming down to the end of the 3rd DRS zone, he's really hitting the brakes there as late as possible, around about the 80 mark from my reference. But we'll see what he's got coming through the middle sector. This left-hander, I love this left-hander. It's one of the corners where you can really make up some serious time, and Granny Boy is using every inch of track he's got there. Teammate in front of him, get out of the way. Granny Boy is up on his time and could nick the place from Sparky and Jamie James in front if he holds this together. Throw it in, drops to 5th. Normally you drop to 6th, they're already 4th. Perfect. What's he got? Running every inch of track he can, and he's up to the line, and it's a 1:04.6, and he's nicked the place off Sparky, but he just did not have enough in his back pocket to take it away from Jamie James. So who have we got on track? In fact, let's jump back to the other McLaren of MLT. He's just started his current flying lap, and we shall see what he has got in his locker. Coming up to the end of sector 2, it's a 16.2. Again, that McLaren, I don't know if it's the car itself, but both McLarens really running a lot of rake on that rear end. Massive amounts, so who knows what that's about. Yeah, we ain't had time to go through the order, but we'll stick on board with MLT, because I believe up at the front we've got M. Doran still in the pits, we've got Sun on an outlap and Jamie James, so it's all going to kick off between the top 3, but we're only separated by just over a 10th and a bit, so it could get very interesting up there. So what have we got through the middle sector? Again, I am getting no comparisons of some of these drivers through these sectors, so it's just stick with it and we'll see what happens. Is MLT coming to the pits? Because that is a very weird line coming into penultimate corner. Throws it in, not using all of the track, really want to be attacking these exit curbs through these final 2 corners, and this is not a good lap. What's he got? It's an improvement by about half a tenth there, so MLT will not be happy with that. What will he do from there? Who have we got? We've got a lot of drivers out at the front. Who have we not seen yet? Let's jump on board with Hayes and see what he's got coming up to the line, using all of the outside curb there through the final corner. He's coming up to the line, and it's an improvement by half a tenth. So the lap times then quite there for these guys. They're looking good. I don't know what the weather's doing, but we shall see what happens. The driver I want to get on board with is Jamie James. Is this his flying lap? I believe it is. Coming through the middle sector, really hooking up the curves there, using every inch of track he can, and some. Again, a lot of rake on the back of that Force India, so maybe that's the way to go around Austria. I don't know. Haven't turned the lap here really yet. Going around the final corner now, though. Jamie James is a driver that has finished his races in spectacular fashion of recent races, and he's just taken pole from M. Doran by 9 thousandths of a second. So M. Doran, are you on your lap? He's just coming around to start it. What's Jamie James doing? This will probably be a cool down lap and a push like hell for another one, but knowing Jamie James, he'd probably leave it at that. I would. Anyway, the battle at the front is all kicking off now. We've got Sun. Is he coming up to his first sector on a flying lap? It looks like it, so we'll stick on board with him. He's 200ths down, so I believe M. Doran is behind him. He is indeed, so we're going to get a comparison from second and third. So we'll keep an eye on Sun a minute. He's still on it, so M. Doran, what have you got? He's done a 16-0 again, so I don't know if these guys just running out of what they've got, I don't know. But Sun now coming up to the middle sector, and Wallace Pup has now retired. He's in 7th, and I believe if I were him, I'd be quite happy with that, given the drivers that are in here. But yeah, we're looking at Sun. He is 600ths down, well 700ths down on his middle sector time. What is M. Doran doing? This is going to be very tight. Granny Boy has now retired. M. Doran coming up to his middle sector. No comparison, so we will jump on board with Sun. It's all or nothing now as he comes round to the start-finish line. What has he got? He's just taken pole. He's done a 104.2. It's around 9.6, so really it's a free, but it's a lovely little lap there. Jamie James is in the pit, so what is M. Doran doing? He is coming. He just missed out on pole. It was an improvement by 1/10.5. Is he going to go for a flying lap? He has got the ears there. DRS open. That is a car that is just backed out. What is Hayes doing? Hayes is currently on a slow down lap, so guys, I would say that is it. So a little bit of a frantic qualifying there, but that's Austria for you. Every time you blink or turn around, you will miss something going on because the lap is so short. So I think we've got one hell of a race on our hands up at the front between the front three. We've got our current championship leader of Sun with a 104.2, and that is a pretty impressive time. I did say we were looking in the low 4s, maybe mid 4s, but no. So a nice little lap time there, so fair play. His teammate Hayes, though, his closest championship competitor, has just retired from the session there while he was in the pits. Good to see, and that could be very interesting. What's M. Doran doing? Is he still driving around? He is. He's just toddling back into the pits. But yeah, the front three, wow, not even 2 tenths between them. So very interesting. But even when you look down the order, guys, I mean, yeah, it's pretty tight. I mean, I think we're going to have 2 groups this time around. I think we're going to have from 1st to around 6th battling, and then I think we're going to have 7th through to 12th having their own little battle. It seems we've got 2 groups at the moment, and the times between them are very tight in those groups. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, from 1st to 6th, we are separated by about 7 tenths, maybe 6 tenths. I may have just got that wrong. So yeah, but we'll give you a rundown of the order very shortly. So it looks like the drivers are settled into their patterns nicely as we come around to sort of the midway of the season. But we're just a race or 2 off that at the moment. So once the results come up, there we go. Granny Boy's finished. So yeah, here you go. In pole is Sun with a 104.2. Nice lap there, really showing why he is the championship leader. And then from there it goes a little bit like this. M. Doran 2nd, Jamie James is 3rd, 4th is Granty Boy, 5th is Sparky, 6th is Hayes, 7th is Wallace Pup, nice little lap there, 8th is Luke Smywalker, but his pace comes out in the race, 9th is MLT, a little bit off his teammate, so this will be interesting throughout. And then in 10th is S. Graham, 11th is Uzi, who crashed out, with 12th being Ricky Sammy. So going to be interesting. We've got a formation lap coming up, and a lot of drivers want to deliver here this evening. But if there's one thing I'm glad to see, excuse me, there are 2 drivers up there with Son. I don't think he's going to have everything his way here in Austria, because it's one of those tracks where it's short, like Brazil. It's shorter, really, with the time, lap time. So it's one of those ones where it's not like a Spa, where if you've got a couple of seconds lead, you make a mistake, yeah, you lose 3, 4, 5 tenths, half a second, if you will. Here, you make a mistake, and you've only got a couple of seconds lead. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you massively, because the track is short, sweet, and very fast. But key places to be watching out for, especially on this opening lap, I would say. Turn 1, you may see not a lot of movement. It'll be turn 2 and turn 3, they really call it, I don't know why. But yeah, turns 3 and 4 is where I believe we will see the action kicking off in this opening lap. So just get the telemetry up that you guys like, get the leaders of what's going on. We're on board with our pole sitter at the moment. To start the race, what we're going to do is we're actually going to get the position changes up before we move on to like tyres and stops and bits and bobs. As you can see, we're going to keep the position change up so you guys can actually see who is making gains and who isn't. And just have a look at that Toro Rosso. There's a little bit of rake on that car, but it's the way these guys have got these cars set up. It's like they're all driving Red Bulls, I swear. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, while we're on this formation lap, his son's sort of going off in his own little world while the other drivers are taking it really easy. Yeah, this is unofficial front row racing, guys, so if you want to get involved in this action, at the moment it's looking like we've only got spaces open in the Thursday League. Drop us a message. You can find us on Facebook and unofficial front row racing league, and yeah, get in touch and we will get you on track with these guys as soon as possible. As the cars behind are getting very, very eventful with their pushing, maybe trying to get the brakes up to temperature. Sun seems to be just taking his time as we come round, but that's how quick it was, guys. We're at the penultimate corner already. Stops, what we're looking at, tyre compounds here, ultra soft being the softest, purple marked, super softs being the red, mediums, and then you've got the hardest of the compounds, the softs, they're the yellow marked tyres. 1 stops are possible from ultras to softs, so I've heard, but if you go that way, the softs at the end of the race for the last sort of 4 or 5 laps are dead. You're really hanging on to the car, but 1 stops are possible, whether you're starting on the ultras or the supers and going on to the softs, but rumour has it the 2 stop may be quicker. So here we go, the cars are just lining up and we are getting ready for lights out here in Austria. We've got 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 light. Are we going to get a delayed start? Are the cars away? No, we've got a delayed start, so give it a few seconds, guys, and they will be up and running. But you can hear the engines, and they are off. And we've got M. Doran got in a fantastic start at the inside of Son, and the McLaren in the background's got a great jump on Jamie James there. Ooh, M. Doran really forcing the Toro Rosso there wide. Not a great start. Every driver seems to have missed the exit corner of the exit of a curve of turn 1 there and made the track up as they go. But M. Doran now defending the inside line. What Son got, it doesn't look like he's got anything. Is he going to try switch back? McLaren looking very, very hungry. But Hayes, what a start. 6th to 3rd. He's hungry. We're just going to stick on board with this before we jump back to see if anything's going on. This is the lead. Son, is he going to go all the way around the outside of turn 4? It did not pay off. What's going on behind? We've got Jamie James making up for his lack of a good start there. McLaren and Granny Boy really on the back of him, harassing him. And then you've got the Red Bull forcing his way through there. Ooh, that was a touch rude and a day late. But who knows? And then behind there, Granny Boy now is Luke Smywalker. Looking back there, we've got S. Graham under a little bit of pressure, but we'll jump back up to the lead to see what's going on, because everything seems to have calmed down back there. M. Doran now trying to stretch his legs. Son using every inch of the track and some. Back there now we've got the Red Bull of Sparky come under a bit of pressure. We just had M. Doran set the opening lap pace of a 1:11.0, so a nice little lap there. But this is where it all seems to be kicking off. Losers at the start would seem to be Wallace Bubby's the biggest loser of all, losing 3 places, but Hayes and Uzi up 3 from their starting position, so it's turned out to be a cracking little start. from those guys, and Uzi is one to watch out for. We all know that. If you haven't seen this guy race, you may want to check out some of our other races. But currently, as we go, everything seems to have calmed down. What is going on back here? It's all kicking off at the back. Uzi did have a fantastic start. Now he's gone flying back, but he is on the soft compound tyres, so everything's all looking nice and dandy. So now we will jump on and see what tyres, who is on what. As Wallace Pup hitting the outside curb there, and it was not a great start to the race for him. Now the McLaren is on the back of him, so hopefully he can get it together, but running very, very wide there. But yeah, we shall just feed through the order now and see where everyone is. And there we go, Jamie James is already onto the back of Hayes, looking very, very hungry and using all of the track and some, but it seems to be everybody's just about keeping within track limits. But here comes Jamie James. M. Doran setting the pace of a 107.9. Jamie James not hanging around, he wants this move done into turn one, and he's real late on the brakes there, a bit of a Ricardo, but Hayes looking for the switchback, and here we go. Both have DRS and the cars in front do not, so this is going to be pure drag. Who has got the reduced drag on the car with the wings? And it would seem Hayes is holding off. Jamie James has that position. Hayes has outbroke himself there. Granty Boy's going to get a bit of a sniff coming up behind him. He's just dropped off, but the Red Bull is keeping him for company. M. Doran seems to be stretching his legs nicely out there, but this is the battle. Is the Red Bull going to make a move? Are we going to see a Ricardo? We are. Very, very late on the brakes there. A little bit of a kiss. You could call that a Ricardo late brake and a Kobayashi kiss. And we are off down around the middle sector. Red Bull, is he going to hold it round the outside? No, thinks better of it. And that Haas behind is Luke Smywalker, and he is a guy you want to watch out for in the race itself. He can make up some places. So this seems to be, yeah, the closest battle on track at the moment, so we're still on board with these guys. But a little bit of an update for you guys up at the lead. M. Doran has got a lead of 8 tenths, then Jamie James is 1.8 behind Sun there, and then Hayes has actually dropped off by nearly 2 seconds since the overtake of Jamie James, so I hope there hasn't been any damage or anything else going on there. But yeah, let's have a quick look at Sun, because he is making inroads. He's got back into DRS range of M. Doran. And is there going to be a move into turn 3? No, there is not. We may see something happen down into turn 4. Depends on the straight line speed of that Toro Rosso though. I believe 1 or 2 car lengths too far for my liking to see anything kicking off back here. No, that's too much of a dive bomb for the likes of Ricardo. But going back to Granty Boy, he's under a lot of pressure now. And there comes a Red Bull round the outside, still trying to attack him. And this is just allowing Luke Smywalker, one of the most improved drivers of the season, to get involved in the action. We've got a yellow flag somewhere. What has gone on? I'm looking, I don't see anything. No, but Jamie James, no, nothing going off there. But we are now back. We've got Luke Smywalker's made the move. Where has Sparky's gone? Sparky's gone. Sparky is off backwards into the gravel. We are going to have to move away from that, because Sun is now 3 tenths behind M. Doran. No move made into the turn 1 there. Is he going to make the move up into turn 2? Nothing really actually happening. Left, right, what are we going to do? M. Doran's gone to the right, Sun's gone to the left. M. Doran squeezing him a bit like a Vettel move there on Hamilton in the season just gone. So Sun, is that 2 car lengths too much? No, I reckon we are in for a Ricardo dive bomb if he's got the cojones. No, he thought about it and then thought better of it. But looking back through the order, everything seems to have calmed down since there was a little bit of a moment in the Red Bull driver, who I believe, we just double checked that, has just come out the pits. That is right. So we'll see how he goes on his soft compound tyres, but that is a lot of time to make up, and I believe the stewards may get a little bit of a visit from man. So here we go, round 2, Sun and Doran. What have we got? Penultimate corner, M. Doran and Sun really using all of the track and some. M. Doran using more than others, but the man in the background is Jamie James, and he is really starting to close in upon these guys. So this could get very, very interesting and turn into a 3-horse race shortly. Oh, Sun took a massive chunk out of turn 1 there. Not too good to see, but hey, once or twice we don't mind. When you get to 3, 4, 5, 6, then we start to question it. So he's just got to stay nice and tight into turn 3, hold it all together, get the traction down. He's close. He's close. He's got to go for it now, because if he doesn't, Jamie James is going to get in on the act, and that's a driver you don't want there, because you give that guy a millimetre, he'll take a mile. He's thinking, M. Doran cover that late, but it's just not enough. And this is just allowing Jamie James to just sneak in. He's just outside the DRS zone at the moment. I've got a move going on at the back though. S. Graham may have just been a bit naughty there, but if he has, that is good to see. So we jump back up on board with the leaders, who are still only 3 tenths apart. I will keep you up to date with what is going on elsewhere, but all other sort of gaps are anywhere from 3 seconds to 4-6 seconds between the other drivers. So these guys up in front, I did say you would be in for an entertaining race, and you are this evening, and Sun is gonna have to work for this tonight. Excuse me. So I've said it before, he's just got to stay composed, keep steady, hit the brake point, sneak right up to the back of that Sauber. He's going for it. He's going. Very late move there. M. Doran giving room just about, and Sun, this is great driving, but who's got the DRS? Sun has. M. Doran seems to have some serious straight line speed in that car though. Oh, Sun's going to get it done. M. Doran real late on the brakes. Sun just saw him. Nice bit of driving there, can't really argue with that. So it's all about M. Doran, what's he got on the comeback. But this has allowed Jamie James to get right back in the act. He's only just 1 second off these two. So Jamie James, I'm telling you, if these two don't want one of those scrappers to come in and really tear them apart, Jamie James is one of those drivers that can, and he will make these guys think now. Sun now, penultimate corner, M. Doran's dropped off a bit. Oh, Sun nearly losing it, as that has compromised his line massively through the final corner. But here's Jamie James. Jamie James is super quick through the final 2 corners there. Sun seems to have some... Ooh, M. Doran very, very close there to the back of Sun, and getting seriously close to getting some wing damage. But Jamie James, this is the man. Is he going to make a move? No. M. Doran looks like he is the fastest in the straights. Sun is looking like the fastest through the corners, and Jamie James seems to just have a lovely balanced car there, because he's got a beautiful view and he's not really doing too much. He's not, so from his errs and that. So Ricky Sammy, the first of the drivers to pick up a 3-second time penalty here this evening in Austria. I reckon we'll see a lot more of those as the race unfold, but if we don't, I'll be mightily impressed. And M. Doran missing the apex of the left-hander there, but this is great stuff between these 3 drivers. We will filter through the grid as we go. There is a little battle I'm just keeping an eye on. It's between S. Graham and Granny Boy. If nothing kicks off between these guys, I'm going to have to jump back and have a nose, because we've got Luke Smywilker, who's got MLT 4 tenths behind him. Granny Boy has made a move, so what has happened there? It clean sweep through, so yeah, that's all done, dusted. Let's get back up on these 3. Granny Boy's now picked up a 3-second time penalty, so the second one of this evening's race, and they will come thick and fast. Jamie James has got a good run on M. Doran, but I think M. Doran's the man with the fastest car in a straight line out of these 3. And Sun's having to go defensive. That's how much of a boost. M. Doran's getting down the straights. Sun's run a bit wide. M. Doran's chance is now, and I reckon I can see this panning out. Sun's going to cover the inside. M. Doran's going to go to the outside, and M. Doran's going to throw this all the way round the outsides. Watch this, guys. Here it is, and he's done it nicely. And Sun, very respectful driving there, is giving plenty of room, and M. Doran replaying the compliment there. And Jamie James must be sitting there. Take each other out, take each other out. But we'll see what happens. But this is fantastic to see between 3 top drivers at UFR. So let's see what we got. Round 10 coming up now. Jamie James, that's a very late dive for the pits. I believe he's had enough of this. Is he in? He is in. So these guys are really going to have to stop this squabbling and get the hell on with it now, because Hayes is just coming around the final corner, and MLT, Jamie James, should just about get out in front of him. So we'll see how that goes. But I just want to jump back if nothing happens up here, because there are battles going on. It's already happened. No, there's pit stops happening now, so we'll stay on board with leaders and see how everything pans out through the pit stop window. So Sun, is he going to try and get the jump before the pit stop, or is he going to have to stay there? M. Doran has got some serious straight line speed here. That's one thing you can see and is clear. Doesn't look like he's close enough. Thought about it, M. Doran not even thinking of defending that, so it's getting a bit intense as we go. One thing I'm going to do now is let's just jump on board and see what's going on through the corners. Nice and steady there. Next left-hander, just want to take a little bit of curve there to get the rear just to... Whoa, not that much! Commentator's curse there. Sorry, son, but I'm just going to stay on board with you here, because this is how much time you can lose from a mistake around Austria. Here comes Jamie James. I believe this will be pit stop time. M. Doran has continued on his ultra soft. Sun, is he pitting? He is pitting nicely inside the white line with one tyre there, but Jamie James was the man all over his gearbox in the early part on a set of softs now, and he is second at the moment, only 17.9 seconds off the lead, so M. Doran's going to have to get a shift on. I think old Sun has felt the pressure here this evening. Two drivers of high quality really taking the fight to him, so... But I've just noticed, shame for Wallace Pup. Wallace Pup just picking up a 3-second time penalty there. Hayes is the man sat in second place of the championship behind Sun, so this is all, but it's just going to help him. So I'm pretty sure he might have drove past his teammate going, thank God for that, you are human. So, but we'll see how the race pans out, because you never know. Son has now got on to a set of soft compound tyres. He is 31.9 seconds off the lead, so very interesting. M. Doran, that's a touch naughty, that. Going to come in the pits, then doing that. Yeah, I'm just going to hold off on that, and I'm going to have to talk to the stewards on this one, the way some people have been entering the pits this season. So Hayes now is found himself in the lead, but the man we want to be seeing is Jamie James. Look at the undercut, it's huge. M. Doran only just coming to the pit exit. No, Luke won't get there, but Jamie James is gone. Jamie James is gone, and he's got about 2 seconds between him and M. Doran, so yeah, it's looking very, very good. But the battle now that's kicking off is between Luke and Granty Boy. Half a second between them. Here they come. Granty Boy has got DRS. Is he going to make a move? No, Luke's got that covered off. But as I said, guys, he's a driver you want to keep an eye out for. No, he's just messed it. He's messed it up into turn 3, and he's basically, I believe, just let Granty Boy go there with the momentum he had. So yeah, all going a bit sweet and whatnot for Luke. But a guy that has just, after his moment at the start, found himself in 6th place, still yet to stop, is Uzi. So his strategy will be very, very interesting as this race unfolds this evening. So what have we got going on? Jamie James has M. Doran starting to get the bit between his teeth, possibly, but Jamie James, I'm not going to say anything. M. Doran picks up a time penalty, so that's all but important for the end of this race. Jamie James has been in this position before, fighting for lead and whatnot, and yeah, touched the curb, got it wrong, and put it in the wall. So yeah, we're going to have to see how this unfolds for Jamie James. A driver I want to keep an eye on is Hayes. He's coming around the pit exit now. Where is his teammate? Son, he is ahead of his teammate, so that is absolutely crucial for his battle in the championship. And what he can do, taking any points on his teammate, is better than no points at all. So we shall check and see, has everything calmed down? We've still got a couple of drivers yet to stop, and that would be Luke Smywalker, Uzi, and Ricky Sammy down in 11th place there. So there is another battle kicking off. Sparky and Wallace Pup are about half a second apart, and it looks like Wallace Pup is making roads into that little bit of a lead he has old Sparky over him, so we'll keep an eye on that. But these two are fighting for 4th and 5th, and that would be Luke Smywalker and Uzi. And where did Uzi go? It looked like he lost it there and gone in the gravel, just like Sun. Here comes Luke Smywalker coming into the pits. Uzi having to take avoiding action, and that is one annoying feature about this track. So Luke Smywalker into the pits, and we shall see how his race unfolds from there. But up at the front, Jamie James with a 2.6 second lead over M. Doran, and looking quite comfy at the moment, because he has now increased it to 2.7 fluctuation now actually. What is going on back here? Sparky, Wallace Pup looking for a move. We're going to stick on board with Wallace Pup and see if he can do anything up into turn 2. Looks like he's got a pretty nice amount of straight line speed there, really taking the fight. And I'm surprised by this, guys, because you don't normally see this from Wallace Pup. He's normally sort of a real mid-end field runner to at the back, but he's taking the fight to these guys that are top-end midfield runners. So because with Uzi still yet to stop, Wallace is in actually a net 8th place, but we'll see how that goes. M. Doran has just taken 7 tenths out of Jamie James's lead, so I am keeping an eye on that, guys. When they get around the second, I shall jump back up there and see what's going on between them. But these two at the moment, are the closest two on track with DRS in play, and then with MLT just ahead of them. But there is a little battle just ahead of them between Sun and Uzi. Hayes has got past. We're just watching this. Wallace Pup using all of the track and some, because with Hayes in front of Uzi now, Sun needs to get past to put a bit of pressure on, because as I said, Hayes would just be happy taking points off his teammate. But as much as they probably don't want me to say it, it is absolutely lovely not to see the two Tarossos out front dominating the Wallace Pup very, very late. I think I know what Wallace Pup's done wrong here, so I might have to have a chat with him after the race. And Sun has now got the move done, as you can see, and there is Hayes just ahead of him in the distance. So Uzi, still one of the drivers yet to stop, so how his race goes from here is all but important, and what tyre compounds he goes on to after his pit stop. So it depends, can he get the hammer down and start coming back home. Driver in the pits, Granny Boy. Second stop, 2 sets of ultras. Very brave call there. Maybe this is the 2 stop that everyone's been going on about that I may have missed. I might be wrong. 20 laps on a set of supers could be pushing your luck there, my man, but we'll see how that goes. And he has come out into a bit of a fierce battle. So what was a 2-car scrap with a car in front is turned into a 4-car scrap, with Wallace Pup, Granny Boy, Sparky and MLT, and I wouldn't hold Granny Boy back. Wallace, he's gonna go for it. Wallace getting a great little apex turn there and taking avoiding action, and this is all kicking off. We're going to jump on board with Sparky. No, we're going to jump on board with the McLaren, who seems to be getting swamped. Wallace taking 2. Little bit rude, didn't force anybody off the track. That is beautiful. Wallace moving the race so far for me. A little bit late, bit of a Kobayashi kiss to a degree. Might go to the stewards though, so we'll leave it at that, but I'm taking nothing away from that move from him. We just jumped back on board with Sparky, who seems to be in the McLaren sandwich here. I am keeping an eye on the leaders, guys. Uzi is now in the pits, and if I'm Uzi, I would not want to be coming out into this. This could turn into a 5-car scrap very shortly. Where is Uzi? Let's have a quick jump just in this pit box. So I believe he's going to come out a little way behind them. There's a move for Sparky. No. Going defensive, McLaren driver trying to sweep around the outside. Other McLaren drivers had a little bit of a moment, and Sparky's on the move again. These guys keep it sweet. This could be interesting. A little bit of an update though. Sun has just gotten past his teammate and now is up into 3rd place. McLaren and Red Bull switchbacks. Everything's going on here. This is immense. So the 2 McLaren side by side. No, don't want that camera view. We want this camera view. I'm telling you, a driver that is impressing me is Wallace Pup though. 5th. Great stuff, mate. Keep it going. You're doing a fantastic job, but he may be a driver that could become a cork in the bottle. It's telling me, I could be wrong, I've just noticed this, Wallace Pup has stopped, but he's on a set of ultra soft that are 12 laps old. So this changes the whole complex of this battle. I did not know that. What are the drivers doing? McLaren thinking about it, not going for it though. Whoa, big moment from Wallace Pup. This could cause absolute havoc. He's all just holding it together. Ooh, that's good stuff. But as we go now, this has just gone from head to toe, back to front, and who knows what. The Williams driver, Wallace Pup, it was all going well. I'm telling you now, Wallace Pup, if you're listening to this, get off those tyres and get into the pits. 13 laps on a set of ultras, mate. You've pushed your luck already. The McLaren driver of Granny Boy outbreaks himself. Red Bull gone. Where's the other McLaren? A little bit too far. I believe he followed him. Do whatever your teammate do, they say. God knows what's going on there. But yep, this has turned into a little bit of a scrap. It's still gone back to front just for a few corners and whatnot, so it's cracking stuff. A little bit of an update for you there, guys, while these guys have calmed down. In the lead is Jamie James with a 1.3 second lead over M. Doran. Then in second is Sun. M. Doran second. Sun is 3rd, who's about 1.1 seconds ahead of his teammate Hayes in 4th. Then it's this battle. You've got Sparky 5th, Granny Boy 6th, MLT 7th. Wallace Pup, where have you gone? There has been a massive moment for Wallace Pup there, and he has now retired. Possible beached in the gravel I hope that car moves. Looking at what's going on at the front now, it's McLaren, Red Bull, McLaren again, Groundy Boy picking up another time penalty, and if these guys keep squabbling like that, I'll just go back to him now. There's Uzi, and he will catch these guys up, and he's someone you do not want involved in these fights, because he will not take no nonsense and go for everything he can. So yeah, this could get interesting as it goes on, but one thing I have noticed is Sparky. He is on 14 lap old soft compound tyres, the yellow mark, so how much further can they go? At a push he may get another 6 laps out of them, but then you may see him go for a very aggressive ultra soft stint, or you might see him come in a little bit early and put on a set of supers. If I'm honest, that is what I would do. Give it another 3-4 laps, see where you're at, and if nothing's happening, I would get on a set of super soft compounds, because MLT behind you is on 9 lap old super soft tyres, so yeah. And then you've got Granny Boy on 4 lap old super soft tyres. This ain't over. It's all going to be about the next round of pit stops for these guys, and the guy that could really pick up the pieces from that is Uzi in 8th on a set of super soft compound tyres. So yeah, this battle could really kick off. So sorry about going on like that battle, guys, but after Uzi in 8th, we've got S. Graham in 9th, and then we've got Luke Smywalker, who seems to be having a bad race, in 10th, and then Ricky Sammy in 11th place. With only one DNF, and that is Wallace Pup. So it's been a bit frantic, but yeah, I'm just going to come away from this. No, I'm not actually. Yes, I am. I'm just going to... There's M. Doran, there's Jamie James. So M. Doran is on tyres that are 2 laps younger than Jamie James's soft compound tyres. So they're both on the same tyres. One thing I will say is Sun picking up a 3-second time penalty, so that could be very important, as I say, towards the end of the race. But yeah, M. Doran, 2 lap younger tyres. Don't know fuel loads and what they've got left and how they're pushing, but that could be very important come the last 5 laps of this race. Unsure when these drivers pitted. What we're looking at, we're on lap 11, so Jamie James sort of around lap 9-10. M. Doran must have been about 11-12. Set of ultra softs going that far, fair play to them. Interesting strategy calls, but I'm thankful I get to see her and watch it. Looks like we're just coming up to a lap car now as well. First of it, which would be Ricky Sammy. One driver that knows how to get out of the way and not hold a driver up when being lapped. I know one driver may have a bit of a dig at that, but all fun in love and war, as they say. So, we're on lap 22. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the order before these two really get into their stride and start having a ding-dong scrap. So, first is Jamie James, second is M. Doran. These are the 2 current drivers we're on board with. Third is Sun, 4th is Hayes, 5th is Granny Boy, 6th is Sparky, 7th is MLT, and I want to go back there now because they are nose to tail. Well, were. It looks like they've just pulled apart a little bit, so we can jump back on board with the leaders because we ain't seen much of them, and now DRS is in play. We will be looking to see what M. Doran's got against Jamie James, and we know M. Doran has got some serious straight line speed in that Sauber, but Jamie James is no slouch, and he does know how to drive, and when it comes to fending, he can be one of the most aggressive you will come across. So yeah, but let's quickly give you a rundown of the order. We've got Jamie James, M. Doran first and second, 2 we're on board with. There's Ricky Sammy getting wow and truly out of the way, good man. 3rd is Sun, 4th is Hayes, 5th is Granny Boy, 6th is Sparky, 7th is MLT, 8th is Uzi, 9th is S. Graham, 10th is Luke Smywalker, and 11th is Ricky Sammy that we have just seen that. So M. Doran really ragging every single gear there. Jamie James just running a little bit wide in turn 4. Hasn't compromised him too much, but he's lost a couple of attempts. He may want back ASAP, because M. Doran will give you a run for your money down the straights, coming around and now up to the penultimate corner of the lap on lap 23. We have had a change for position. MLT has now made his pit stop, which now promotes Luke Skywalker, who, believe it or not, they're not actually too far up the road from this little battle now. Let's just have a quick look. Yeah, as you can see, just going to the end of sector 1, so these two may incur a little bit of traffic, but due to tyre compounds people are going onto, it may not affect them as much as anticipated. So Hayes on his teammate's son, 3rd and 4th battle. It looks like Hayes is still dropping off bit by bit, but he's trying everything he's got. M. Doran now has the run on Jamie James. Which way is James going to go? He doesn't. He's late. Ooh, that was a bit of a bang and a knock, but I don't know what Jamie James will make of that. But if there's one thing I'm telling M. Doran now, if you do that to Jamie James and he gets the chance to do it back to you, he will. So, hey, if you're going to get your elbows out like that, if there's one thing I'll say, guys, if it comes back at you, expect it. And don't moan or cry too much about it. But banging around like that, that's a bit too much. That seemed a bit forceful and looked like Jamie James had to get on the brakes towards the outer part of the corner there. So here comes Jamie James. Nope, not thinking about it then. I believe he will wait until turn 2. One of Jamie James' favourite moves, if I remember rightly from past races in Austria. M. Doran's got some serious straight line speed. Jamie James, nope. M. Doran moving left and right there. Bit naughty. He has run a bit wide. Jamie James has got a bit of a run on him there. Don't look like enough though. 2 car lengths back. But no, I think Jamie James is just going to settle down. Let's jump on board with Jamie James. Yeah, I think Jamie James at the moment is in the better position from what I'm seeing from the data, as long as he can keep it all together. But again, we've got 11 laps to go. That move, I'm a bit dubious of. I mean, we watched Wallace Pup do it from a higher angle, bit like the helicam, and that was a bit nip and tuck for my liking, but he left plenty of room for the Red Bull driver when it happened, as he took 2 drivers. But that one, I don't know, it looked like, could be wrong, Jamie James had a little bit of a lock up from what I saw a little bit of smoke, and that may be forcing the driver to hit the brakes for a second time, which, yeah, that's not my protocol. That's down to the stewards how they deal with that if it gets reported. So yeah, Jamie James, what have you got? M. Doran's made his move and he's not come fully back across, but has he missed the apex there? Jamie James looks closer than ever on the run down to turn 4, but M. Doran, you can see with his straight line speed, it is quite immense. What's Jamie going to do? Not thinking about it. Excuse me. Maybe just biding his time here, because what I'm seeing, yeah, if I'm not going to say a word because I don't like to give away what drivers are doing strategy wise with fuel, ERS or whatnot. We can't really see the fuel, but we can see the ERS, we can see what's going on with battery deployment and etc. We've just lost Luke Skywalker, probably terminal damage there. We may see a car shortly. Yep, there it is, passing the outside of the wall. How did he get all the way out there? I'd love to know. Maybe see a clip of that later on in the week, or possibly later this evening. So that promotes Ricky Sammy up into the final points paying position, and he's a guy that just drives around, minds his business and picks up the points. So keep it going, Ricky, you're doing a nice little job there. So here comes Jamie James, closer than ever. Let him rip, not going for it now. Jamie James, from my point of view, is just playing with M. Doran here. He's pushing, that is for sure. I think he's just playing with M. Doran on what he can and can't do. But the one thing you really don't want to be doing in Formula 1 is sitting behind your opponent for too much longer than you would normally want to, because they start to figure out your do's and don'ts and what you're comfortable with and what you're not, where they can squeeze you, where they can. And yeah, so I always say, when you come up behind a car, you've got 3 laps. If you can turn up, get it done, a bit like Ricardo, we'll see you later, great. If you can, you've got 3 laps. If you don't get it done in 3 laps, you're in for a long race. But when it's first and second fighting like this, you can take until the final lap of the final corner to get it done. So here we go, what are we on? Lap 28, this will be rounds 28 between these guys. These two have been up there fighting away. Son is down in 3rd and does not have an answer for these guys. Jamie James is not really Is he going to go for it this time? He's closer than he ever has been. No, thinks better of it, and that's what I like to see. Not just throwing it down there and banging someone out of the way, thinking about when to make the move. And Jamie James is a driver that, when he wants to compute things, really can. But when things go wrong for him, they go horribly wrong. Looking like a nice little battle. While these two come around the middle sector, you don't normally see a move round here, so what I will do is give you a quick rundown of the order on lap 28. These two in first, M. Doran and Jamie James. Third is Son. Fourth is Hayes. Fifth is Granty Boy. Sixth is Uzi. Seventh is S. Graham. Eighth is Sparky. Ninth is MLT. And 10th is Ricky Sammy with 2 DNFs, that being Luke Smywalker and Wallace 8. So, I could be wrong. That is MLT ahead of Jamie James and M. Doran, so they may incur a little bit of traffic before the end of this race, and depending on when they catch that car, depends on when they have to get out of the way, like we all know. So Jamie James is easy, sure, just throw it up there, Jamie James. Stop making me wait. He's just doing it to annoy me now. Either that or he's just being cautious. MLT has left the session. If he can return, he can finish the race, but if he wants the points, you need to be in control of your car when you cross the start finish line, or it will not count. So we'll see if he can rejoin and take control of that car. But if there's one thing I have noticed, Ricky Sammy, where is he on track? A little bit off these two, but yeah, due to the level we run out, Ricky Sammy could be nicking a place off MLT if he doesn't put his socks up and get on with it, because we only run the AI level at 40. That's made life easier for M. Doran and Jamie James. Jamie James not using DRS. I'm telling you now, Jamie James has got a plan. He's not messing about, he's just waiting for his moment. I think he's a little bit annoyed with what M. Doran did there, and he's just going to wait to pick his moment. He may give M. Doran a bit of taste of his own medicine. He's thinking, no, still not going to go for it. What's he going to do down into turn 4? Picking up the throttle nicely. A car length between the two of them now. Maybe a car length and a half. Far too far back, unless your name's Danny Ricciardo, to stick one down the inside of turn 4. And Jamie James is not the man to do that. But that rake on that Force India is just, it's immense. If you guys can see what, obviously you can, if you can see what I can see and as clear as I am, when you see that Sauber next compared to that Force India, that rake is massive. Jamie James now picking up a 3-second time penalty. I believe M. Doran's got one as well, so that would put the drivers all fair and square, level with the penalties. But Jamie James is sticking to the back of that Sauber like glue, and I know a little bit about Jamie James. I've raced with him for a season and a bit. Well, a few reserve events, an old league we used to race at as well, that merged with us. Jamie James nearly losing it there, really starting to try and get the throttle down earlier and earlier out of turn 1, and I never advise that the later you go into this race, but he's got to go for it now. No, I tell you what Jamie James is doing, he's got the live broadcast on, he's listening to me talk, and he's just winding me up. He's just making me wait for that one little move. Here, is it coming? Is it coming? Nope. He's just making me wait. He knows, I swear he knows he's got the legs on M. Doran. If he hasn't, this is a cracking event, but from what I'm seeing, he's just got to stick one at the inside. But the one thing I do know about setups on this game that does annoy me, and I know there's a couple of quick drivers in Sunday League and reserves or drivers in the Thursday League that run it, they can do some ridiculous stuff with their brake pressures and how they run their brake bias with ABS on. Codemasters really need to sort that out, because without ABS you cannot run what they run. You just physically can't do it, and you can see it there. I believe M. Doran's doing it, so I pray to God Codemasters do it, because to me it's like giving an assist user an extra 5-10% over a non-assist user, which I don't agree with. We see it here from the helicam. It's Jamie James is on the brakes before M. Doran, and I know Jamie James is a non-assist user completely, and I know M. Doran uses assists. I don't know if he uses medium traction control anymore, but yeah, nothing against M. Doran, nothing against Jamie James, or nothing against anybody that does it, but Codemasters need to sort that out, people should not be able to run 100% pressure in these cars. I don't care what anyone says. You do it, fine. Where's the lockups? Give them something. Where's the heavier tyre wear? Make them suffer big time, because I tell you now, I've followed Formula 1 a long time. I've never seen, even on nowadays, somebody run their bias at 50, and obviously you don't know what pressure they're running, but they will run their pressure at 100. They just have rears locking up all the time. But hey, that's down to Codemasters. I've got a few more words for them. If they could just get this stuff right, it would be fantastic. They've got the setups right now, just get the braking right and we'd be happy days. But here comes Jamie James now. Sun now setting the fastest lap of 107.4, and again you can see Jamie James just cannot do it. So I don't think it's the tyres that are letting him down. I just think it's that, yeah, I've gone through it. I'm not going to keep going over it because it's unfair against drivers. But if drivers are going to do it and they can, you let them get on with it. But to me, it's another way of a little bit of a cheat in my view. But yeah, the only way to overcome that is running the league, is to take away their racing line from them and then say, right, now judge your braking. But you never know. We'll see what happens as the future unfolds with that. But we're now on lap 33 and these two have been at it hell for leather. One thing I just want to check before these guys start battling again, MLT is still not in control of his car. Uzi has made a stop for a set of ultra softs with what, 4 laps to go, 3 laps to go for himself, so that is a very, very late call. Jamie James, you can see in the rear view wing mirror there, having a little nose and a little scoop of out. But we shall see what happens down into turn 3 again. Can Jamie James do it? If I was Jamie James, I've raced M Doran, I would just stick it there and scare the hell out of him. If you wanna scare M Doran, you've just got to throw it in there, make it stick, and yeah, scare him. When you do that, he doesn't jump out of the way, but he gets a bit wobbly at times. So yeah, Jamie James, just throw one up there, mate. Give us some entertainment. While these two guys go through the middle sector, though, we're just going to come off them and have a look at Sun, the current championship leader, who's had a bit of a lonely race, but 15.9 seconds off the lead. He has held that gap, so it's a shame of the moment he had, because the race could have been a completely different battle altogether. Then we got Hayes in 4th, Granty Boy there in the McLaren in 5th. Then we got Sparky in 6th in the Red Bull, Uzi in 7th in the Ferrari, S Graham in the Renault in 8th, and then we've got Ricky Sammy 1 lap down in the Mercedes, which is something you don't see, and then we've got MLT in the McLaren, still not in control of his car. So here we go. M Doran has just had a moment. If I'm Jamie James, do not wait now. You're not using DRS. I would be using everything, and he's still not doing it. Yeah, this is going to get a bit interesting through these final few laps now. It's been a bit of a long race, 36 laps of Austria. Getting a bit entertaining now. With these two, it's all about when, if, how, what you're going to do, and when's it going to happen. But the rest of the field seem nicely spread out. The only two cars that seem to be, yeah, within 2 seconds would be Sparky and Uzi. So we'll keep an eye on that, because Uzi is on ultra softs. But Jamie James now looks to me like he's getting a bit between his teeth and learning, I need to attack here, need to attack there, and M Doran's sort of, as far as I know, runs the ABS. But yeah, Uzi now setting the pace of a 1:7.3, 1 minute 7.3 that is. Jamie James, here we go, starting the final lap. Is it going to happen? Is it not? What we're going to do? It's all or nothing. If I was Jamie James, M Doran did it to me, and he did that to me, I would pick a corner, turn 2 or turn 3, and I would give him the same medicine. Jamie James, absolutely everything turned up. I thought M Doran had straight line speed. Is he going to hang him out to dry like a Vettel? He is a little bit. Has he got DRS as well? Who's got DRS? Who's got it? No one. No one's got the DRS. They must have went through there identical. And Jamie James has made it all happen on this final lap. You can see that ABS of 100 pressure with that brake bias, and I swear M Doran's running it, because that is immense. And Jamie James is quite a late braker from what I know. So any assist users out there, there's a tip for you. If you want to race with these guys up at the front, change your brake bias and pressure to that and give it a go. For all you know, it might actually work. But penalties have been handed out between these two. It depends how many, and should Jamie James have made it happen? I knew he was making me wait. He's given me some exciting races to commentate on. What have we got? Jamie James crosses the line, M. Doran finishes second, so it looks like they both had a 3-second time penalty, and that was actually quite an entertaining race. Jamie James, little message to you: you're a pain in the backside, and don't make me wait so long next time. I knew you were doing that on purpose. Here comes Sun to finish up in 3rd place. Nice little race. It's a shame he had his moment. Here comes Hayes around the final corner. He hasn't done a bad job. Held on to the back of his teammate quite nicely there and comes home 4th. I don't think he's too happy about that though. And then we've got Granty Boy in the McLaren in 5th. Done quite a solid job, and he's been picking up the results here or there around about 4th, 5th, 6th. Sometimes picking up the podium, so nice little job by him. We do apologise, well, I do apologise, I haven't seen too much of the other races that have been going on, like these two, Uzi and Sparky. There has been a change of position, that is for sure, and Uzi has got the jump on Sparky. Time penalties, will they come into play? Uzi goes, nope, they hold positions as well. The last car to come across the line this evening would be S. Graham, and again, he's held on to it quite nicely, and he's got the car from A to B. So that has been Austria, round 9, and I know the Toro Rossos probably don't want to hear it, but it was actually nice not to see one of them winning the race for once, because it's been quite a nice little phase for them, with about 5 races where Son's won, Hayes picking up the podium, so it's nice to see a different driver on the top spec, and that being Jamie James. Again, personal message, don't do that again, a bit more entertainment please. I knew you were doing that on purpose, but that's what racing's about, so fair play to him. God knows what that guy's doing it. But yeah, nice little win there for Jamie James, and I'm pretty sure he'll be happy with that, given the displays he's given us in about 4 of the earlier events, with fantastic and unreal finishes to his race with everything that's gone on. But I'll tell you one person, I'm just going to give you the nod to, Hayes. Yeah, it's Hayes. Hayes, cracking job, mate. The only guy, well, with Luke Smywalker being a DNF, not to get a time penalty. Fair play to you, sunshine. Well done. But here's your race order, and it goes a little bit like this. In 1st is Jamie James, 2nd is M. Doran, Sun was 3rd. That's your podium sitters of this event. Then 4th was Hayes, congratulations, no penalty. I know it's not what you want to hear, but fair play to you. 5th was Granny Boy, 6th was Uzi, 7th was Sparky, 8th was S. Graham, 9th was Ricky Sammy, 10th was MLT, 11th was Luke Smywalker, 1st of the DNFs with Wallace Pup, finishing 12th with DNF. So, nice little event there. Good to see a different type of scrap up at the front, not Sun trying to get away from guys, come through the field on a 2-stop. He really had to work, and yeah, I don't know if the pressure got to him or whatnot, so yeah, actually enjoyed that. We haven't had too much to say about what we are and what we do. We're unofficial front row racing guys, and yeah, if you're interested in taking the fight to these guys, come along, drop us a message on Facebook and we will get you involved as soon as possible. We hold races on a Thursday, invites out at 7:30, event starts at 7:45, and it's the same on a Sunday. The only difference between the two, Sunday is full qualifying. So congratulations to Jamie James. It was a spectacular finish in the right way this time, so fair play to you, fella, on your first win here. And yeah, moving on from that, our next race will be Austria. We will be Sunday with hopefully what's looking like a full grid this time round, and we'll go from there. But other than that, we will be back with you next week, same time, same place, as we're still looking for a broadcast team to deal with the Sunday event. As soon as we get that, we will be broadcasting that and allowing the viewers to watch that, and there is some very immense races on there, quick races, everything seems to happen there, and it's all good fun. So yeah, if you're interested in joining, drop us a message on Facebook and Unofficial Front Row Racing League, and we will get you involved as soon as we can. We only do have spaces open on the Thursday League now, so bear that in mind when you give us a message if you do. Other than that, I shall see you for round 10, Silverstone, British Grand Prix, one of the fastest on the calendar, and the Monza of course, and another one. But yeah, we'll see you then for a lot of us home Grand Prix. So until then, good night, God bless, and I hope you enjoyed the show.